fellow YouTubers. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a red sauce and lasagna. Yum. So in today's video, I'm just going to walk you through step by step. I'm going to list the ingredients down below so you have everything that you need. And I did make a large amount of lasagna. So if you feel like you want to cut the ingredients in half, you could totally do that with this type of recipe. It's not like baking where it's super complex with measuring and all that stuff. But anyway, let's get started. So sorry for the weird angle, but I'm gonna use this giant pot right here because I'm making a lot of sauce. If you don't want to make a ton and you just want to make like enough for you and your family, like if you only are 2 people or whatever, you can always use less of the ingredients that I'm going to use. So, and I'm going to list everything. All right, so I just grabbed an onion, got my fresh garlic. Another easy way that you could do it is onion powder and garlic powder. So basil, and we're obviously not going to leave the whole entire onion or all of those garlic cloves in there because that would taste really nasty. But you're gonna kind of see how we incorporate the oils that are gonna be cooked out of it once we heat it up with a little bit of olive oil in the pan. But essentially, you're gonna take a little bit of olive oil and you're just gonna pour it into the bottom of your pan so it gets nice and hot. Just gonna, just a little bit. You can kind of see in there. So it's just gonna be enough to get the onion and the garlic kind of to cook. So I'm going to lower it to about 6. So I'm just going to take like these ends, the gross parts, however you want to say it, and I'm just going to cut it like this. We still want the onion to be whole. We just don't want all of this nasty stuff on there. So I'm going to cut this end off. Peel all, see how it's like, it's either green or white. There's none of that nasty stuff on there. Okay, so we're going to set that aside for now. And we're going to get the garlic. I'm picking these off so I can cut them up. I'm just peeling like the outside of these off. It's not really working the way it's supposed to, so I'm gonna try and cut. There we go. Just once you have that in, see how it's like all, there's nothing else on it. So the last one, and the reason why I'm doing 3 of them is because we're not actually cutting these up into small pieces, so it's just gonna cook the outside. And then we're gonna try and squish them, like squish down on them when they're nice and soft. All right, so there's our, well, you can't really see it, but there's olive oil in there. I'm gonna put this in here. And you can hear that. Once you hear that, you know it hit the olive oil. And you wanna watch out because that's very hot. So then we're just gonna plop those in there and we're gonna cook them for a little while. Essentially what you wanna do is you wanna wait until they're nice and brown. You don't want them to burn, obviously, because that's not gonna be a good thing. So I'm honestly gonna lower mine to like 4. And as far as the onion, you could leave that in there. When I'm gonna show you, when we put the sauce in, you're gonna leave the onion in there for the whole time that it's cooking, because it really gets that flavor. But for the garlic, I usually like to take them out. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes. So there we go, and you see how everything is really like brown, but it's not like burnt. So we're gonna squish these and just kind of stir them around a little bit. See how both the sides of the onion is now nice and brown. And we're gonna take out these lovely little guys. All right, so we took our garlic out, and I'm gonna show you the types of sauce that I'm gonna use. Honestly, if you can get all the same brand, that would be great, but I really wanted this, the no salt added. So, and I like the crushed because it gives it more of like a texture and it's more thick and it just seems like a lot, you know, heftier than the regular sauce. I'm gonna disappear real quick to open these up. Okay, so as you can see, we have all of them opened up and we're just gonna take one by one and pour them into the sauce gently. It tends to want to pop out at you. And this is why I use such a big pot, because it's a lot of sauce. So, Sammy, I'm sorry, this is my dog. She's trying to get in on the action. Sammy, no. She's a good girl. All right, so we're gonna stir these around a little bit. And we're obviously gonna leave that onion in there. It's gonna cook in there for a couple of hours usually. I'm just gonna add a little bit of basil. So, I mean, the basil you can really add as much as you want, but I will come back in a little bit when this is done and I'm going to do the rest of the lasagna. Hey guys, so it's been a little while. The sauce is still cooking. You want to just put it on low after if you feel like it's gonna overcook or something, and keep stirring it, definitely. But now we're gonna make the lasagna itself, like the actual noodles. So here's the giant boiling pot, and I have 2 pounds of pasta. So I got 2 boxes. I made sure that this was boiling, and it definitely is. So we're gonna take our pasta and just plop it in there for whatever time the box says, and really that's it for now. So just make sure that you keep an eye on the sauce and you keep an eye on your pasta so it doesn't overcook. Okay, so the macaroni's done cooking, and a quick thing that I forgot to mention before is you're gonna wanna drain it, and then you're gonna wanna fill it up with cold water, because you're gonna want those noodles to be really wet. We have our ground beef. I have 85% lean. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the meat, we're gonna mix it with some breadcrumbs. I like the Italian style one from Progresso. It's very good. Then we add a little bit of parsley here. And we're gonna have some eggs. Mine are extra large, just that's how I buy them, which works out because you're gonna need quite a bit of eggs to really mix in and make sure that it's kind of like moist. We are going to mix everything together. I use my hands. I know that's kind of gross, like you don't want to be touching raw meat or anything, but I find that's the easiest way. We got our meat, and this is my big bowl that I'm gonna be using. We're just gonna plop it in there. And while I'm doing this, I have the pan that I'm gonna use. I'm using like a non-stick, one of those copper pans. So I have that heating up on around 6 on my stove. And the sauce is still going, it's still warm and everything. It's just on low right now, so it's not really doing much of cooking. And also I have the pasta set aside. It's sitting in water, so it's not gonna get hard or anything like that. And it's not gonna stick together. So we're just gonna pour some of this in. You want it enough, but you don't wanna like make it too dry, because then it's just not gonna cook right. We pour that in, the breadcrumbs, and then we're gonna put some parsley in. Okay, so we're just gonna crack a few eggs in here. I'm gonna do like 3, I think 3. I'm really dreading sticking my hands into this, but it needs to be done. So I'm just gonna smush it in there. Basically, we're just gonna, like, we're grabbing into it and twisting it. Like, that's the motion that I'm doing, because you can't really see. I'm almost done with this. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more breadcrumb to it. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Hold on. That's what it looks like. You can see a little bit of parsley in there. So now we are just going to take this mixture and put it in the pan and you're just gonna fry it up. Okay, so I dumped it in there, and you can see it's just like a big blob. But we're just gonna mix it around and make sure that flip it a little bit because it's probably gonna brown pretty quickly. Okay, so our meat is still cooking. It's taking a while, so I figured I'd jump to the next step. So we're gonna take our huge, giant 2-pound bag of mozzarella cheese, and then I actually got 2 of these. So take this and pour it into the blue bowl. So we're gonna take our ricotta and plop it on in there. Squeeze it in, should come out. Ooh, yeah, it came out one piece. Awesome. You want a big spoon or whatever you want to mix it with. I'm going to chop off this ricotta in here. And then I'm going to add the eggs too. So I think we're going to just stick with 3, maybe 2. And add a little bit of parsley. Okay, so that's all mixed, and I'll show you the meat. Here's the meat. And I'm gonna get everything prepared to start making the roll-ups. So first I'm going to take the cheese. And this is probably gonna be difficult with one hand. So I'm gonna see if I can do this way. Yeah. I'm just gonna take a little bit of cheese, put it on macaroni and spread it. It kind of doesn't come out the best sometimes, but dang it. But yeah, so you're gonna do the cheese as like your first layer. And then next you're gonna spread a little bit of meat on there, which I have to grab all of that. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of meat throughout. So that's it. And then you're just going to put a little bit of sauce. I'll show you what this looks like before I roll them all up. Okay, so this is what they're going to look like before you roll them up, and then I'm just going to place them in there. So you just roll them up. I think I can do this with one hand, but I'll see. Carefully roll it. And the stuff is going to come out of the side, I'm sure. It does for me. So it's going to look like that, and you're just going to gently place it in the pan. So this is how much lasagna I just made. And I know it looks a little bit messy, but I'm going to put some sauce on the top and then sprinkle a little bit of mozzarella, and you definitely want to cover it with aluminum foil when you put it in the oven because you don't want the top to dry out. So this is going to cook for about 45 minutes and should be ready just in time for my family to get here. So the lasagna is in the oven and it's been cooking for a little while, so it only has like 25 minutes left. But I probably won't be able to videotape the end result because my family's going to be here and it's going to be crazy. But I hope that if you like this video, you'll like and subscribe, and I can do some more videos for you, and it'll be really fun. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.